Hello there. So my video today is probably more oriented towards beginners, particularly those who've used or are thinking of using the Michel Thomas courses for French, German, Spanish, Italian. But still there may be something useful for other people. Let's see. So we'll start by talking about what many people say is the most important aspect of language learning. It's not so much about the methods you use or how much of a language genius you are. They say that what's the number one thing is your motivation, because motivation will keep you going. It'll help you to put the hours in. Now, it seems to me that there are two kinds of motivation. There's one which is called excitement, and you see people pumping themselves up, reading motivational books and so on, and getting, yeah, I can do it, all charged up. And this is wanting to learn the language. And that can keep many people going. Unfortunately for me, motivation of that kind, the excitement kind, tends to fade over time, and then language learning becomes a bit of a chore, and I find myself losing interest in the language and going off and doing other things. So I like to combine that kind of motivation with purpose, not just wanting to learn the language, but needing to learn the language, having a reason beyond just excitement. And for me, I've discovered that the most motivating thing in terms of a purpose is to plan a trip to the country of which I am learning the language. Then it's no longer an intellectual exercise alone, it actually has a reason. And particularly, just put the light down a bit, I want to be able to talk to people in their own language, not to have to rely on them speaking English or some other language I know. But more important than that, and I think this is very nice to be able to speak to people in their own language. Firstly, it's polite to them and you see them being very happy. But more importantly for me, it enables me to get things done, to make things happen that wouldn't happen if I couldn't speak that language. So this can be something very simple, such as being able to use the bus rather than getting taxis, or to be able in restaurants to order food from places that aren't tourist oriented. You know, if the menu is available in English, or it's most likely a tourist restaurant, but the ones that are a little bit off the main square, where the food might be better and better priced, is great if you can speak the language. And many other reasons for wanting to get things done. I like to see this happen, not just hello, how are you, but to actually have a conversation that makes something happen, an experience happen that I wouldn't otherwise be able to have. So this is my purposeful motivation. And what this means is that I'm not so much focused on being able to read literature. That's a great thing, and I do read literature in different languages, but I'm mostly focused on conversation, and in particular having a goal of going to a country in, say, a few months' time and being able to build up a conversation ability in the language. And where possible, I tend to start with the Michel Thomas audio courses. I'm sure many people know about these, but if they don't, it's an audio-only course. It doesn't have a manual, just several hours of Michel Thomas himself and the other instructors in later courses teaching you how to combine pieces of conversation. It's not so much focused on random vocabulary, but more based on the kind of things that you will say in a conversation, such as, I would like blah 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 blah, and could you tell me please da 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 da, and in my opinion da 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 da. In a way, it's a little bit like my conversational connectors. If you don't know what those are, just search Anthony Lauder conversational connectors. But in addition, Michel Thomas, at least in his advanced courses, also focuses on teaching you grammar, such as the tenses of verbs. And I find it excellent for loosening my tongue. Many other kinds of courses might be great for teaching me the grammar theoretically, but for being able to loosen my tongue and start conversing with people, I find the basic and advanced Michel Thomas courses to be excellent. Particularly though, they ignore the spelling to some degree and completely miss out reading and writing. There is, as I said, no manual. And what do you do after the Michel Thomas courses? Well, many people I've seen recommend you get a vocabulary book, and I'll show you some of these. these are the ones that I particularly like. The Barron's series called Mastering Language Vocabulary. So here's Mastering French Vocabulary. And they're quite cheap books. And to my dismay, after I'd bought these, you can now get them even with complete MP3s, with all of the vocabulary in audio, so you can listen to them as you're walking or doing chores. I wish that were available a few years ago, but, well, Mastering Italian, Mastering Spanish, again in the same series, and Mastering German. This is a slightly older book, but in the same series. And these are excellent for getting a lot of vocabulary and adding it into your conversation abilities. But still, the words are quite isolated. Yes, they're in some context, a specific context, but they don't really improve your conversational abilities. I've seen other people saying that since my purpose is to be able to go to a country and use the language, that you should buy phrase books. And again, I would agree with that. The Lonely Planet ones have a good reputation, and I have this for many languages. Here I'm showing French, Italian, Spanish, and even Latin American Spanish, because they're different. I needed this in Costa Rica. And German. And I would agree that both of those ideas of following up Michel Thomas with a vocabulary book and a phrase book are excellent. However, it seems to me that there's actually still a gap, a missing manual for the Michel Thomas courses that keeps up this ability of improving your conversational skills, of combining pieces of words and so on. And several years ago, I came across a book series which I think is the missing manual. I would recommend this book series, the missing manual, because it's very conversation oriented, and it is the Collins Easy Learning Conversation series. This is the French one. I have it for Spanish. I also have it for Italian. I've lent it to a friend, so I can't show it to you. This series of Collins Easy Learning in languages, they have various ones in the series, such as one for verbs, one for grammar in general, and so on. But it's the conversation ones I'm particularly interested in, because they do seem to fit well as a nice follow-on to the Michel Thomas series. Firstly, because it shows you everything in written form, which Michel Thomas does not. So you go, aha, now I've seen it written. I do understand the spelling. I'd missed it in the course and so on. But in addition to that, it follows this Michel Thomas idea of having pieces and then showing you how to combine them in different contexts. So it begins, all the books are the same, with basic conversational stuff such as saying hello and how are you, and introducing yourself and introducing other people. Very basic conversational pleasantries. But very quickly it moves on to things that you need to do in real life situations, such as asking for help, such as tell me please, what is this, when is that, how do I do this, how is this thing, why is that thing, and so on. So basic kind of questions and interactions that you'll have with people, and telling them your requests and suggestions, what I want to do, what can you do, blah 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 blah, why don't you, why don't we, expressing your thoughts, I think this, I believe that, in my opinion, I agree with you. It's very similar to my conversational connectors, as I've said, but more oriented towards exactly the kind of stuff Michel Thomas is teaching. So excellent follow-on. And then once it's got over these basics, it actually then applies them in different real situations that you'll come across. So getting there, this is about traveling. So it's asking about getting tickets, the kind of stuff you get in phrase books, yes. Looking for accommodation, getting to the airport, blah blah blah. And it goes on for pages and pages of different situations that you'll get in, but not just as random phrases, again combining them with these conversational pieces. And there are many chapters in here on all kinds of topics you'll come across. Wining and dining, so this is restaurant oriented stuff in supermarkets and markets and so on. So, and again, it's combining restaurant situations with these basic conversational pieces such as when and what and how and could I and is it better to do this or to do that and where is this and I'd like to do this. So it's giving you lots and lots of conversational practice in real contexts that you're going to come across. So hitting the town. So yeah, I want to go to a cafe and what time is that cafe open and blah blah blah. So what's some other contexts in here? Service with a smile. Being nice. Yeah, here you go. This unit will help you communicate your needs in a French-speaking country in natural French when you're in the bank or the money changer or the hairdresser, and it'll teach you what conversations really are like, not the stilted stuff you might see in many language books. For example, a lot of course books tell you that in French the way to ask for the waiter is garçon, boy. Nobody does that in real life, and it does tell you in here that garçon is outdated and a bit rude. You would just say monsieur or something like this. So it's quite current language as well. You're keeping in touch with people. And then at the very back, it has a very small grammar section, which I'll just find. And it is an excellent recap of the advanced manuals from Michel, the advanced course materials from Michel Thomas. So it tells you all about the different articles, you, me, he, she, blah, 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 blah. Pronouns, not articles. And it goes into the various tenses of verbs, but in a very light way. It covers them, but without too much theory. And it tells you all about the various endings and where they come from. And then it does give you tables and so on. So here you go, it's telling you about various endings for verbs in different situations and so on. As I said, I think, and then it's got a few tables you can look things up in. But done in a very approachable way. So that's it. I think this series is an excellent bridge between the Michel Thomas audio courses and then something like a phrase book or a vocabulary book. The big downside is that these books are only available in French, Spanish and Italian as far as I can tell. There doesn't seem to be a German one, which I really missed when I went to Germany twice last year. I could get by, but a book like this would have really brought it up to another level. So, if anybody knows of books that are very similar for German, but for any other languages, from different publishers, I'd be extremely interested and very grateful. So that's it, a very simple video just saying this particular series I have found in my own travels to be an excellent bridge between the Michel Thomas series and then phrase books and vocabulary books. It takes your conversational abilities to a slightly higher level and gives you more confidence so that you won't find yourself tongue-tied when you're in a foreign country speaking the language. Thank you very much and take care.